All right. So, yeah. Hi, I'm Austin Dressman. I'm the community and events manager here at Engaging Networks. And welcome to this overview webinar of Engaging Networks' new peer-to-peer tool. We are extremely fortunate today to hear from Dan Shimshak, who's our senior director of product. And on a tool that he and his team have really spent a great deal of time perfecting before its release here recently.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Austin. I'm very excited to be able to speak to you today about peer-to-peer. It's been wanted to kind of give you an origin story for those who have been with us in the journey of creating peer-to-peer or those who are new to us. So we have a sort of existing peer-to-peer tool that we leverage with a partnership. And it's been successful in that it helped a number of clients raise money and engage their supporters and run really effective campaigns. But about 2.5 years ago, we saw the need for us wanting to really go into the market, built for nonprofits, and also then that the whole ecosystem is in within Engaging Networks. And this means that it was like unifying design, unifying the support, and then bringing the discovery and development rigor that we push into Engaging Networks under the fold. So we've been working hard to be able to isolate what enterprise nonprofits and nonprofits who are in the peer-to-peer market need, and then also aligning all of this together so we can promote and provide a really good tool set that's integrated with our reporting, with our events, with our advocacy, with our email tools and SMS tools, etc. So it was a real want and desire to bring everything together and build a tool that was in line with Engaging Networks moving forward. Lessons learned is that building peer-to-peer is quite a lot of work. I can personally attest that the mountain that when we started peer-to-peer and looking up was a huge amount of work, and likely one that we thought was likely one that was larger than we initially expected. So we've learned a lot on this project and building these tools out. Certainly that it's complex and it's evolving. And it was also another reason why we wanted to sort of tackle on the project is that we see it as a real piece in the nonprofit world of fundraising. And we wanted to be able to provide tools for this as our integrated ecosystem provides tools for nonprofits to do this. So we wanted to find a way of being able to meet the technical and strategic and creative needs of those who launch peer-to-peer campaigns. It was certainly a project we've had to look back and see how we can align some of our team members, resources grow, and how we deal with project discovery, etc. And then we also saw that peer-to-peer clients, whilst we were doing this and building that, clients don't operate in the same way. You see people who are doing events and also tributes, but then they might not be doing tributes and only DIY. There are clients who have not done peer-to-peer before, so they're starting dipping their toes in it, to those who have entire departments purely focused on very large scale peer-to-peer events, platforms, etc. So a very wide range of sophistication and needs in peer-to-peer tools. And then something that really hit me just as a person speaking with a lot of people in that peer-to-peer fundraisers are deeply passionate. So going to forums, speaking to people, it was amazing to see how much empathy and effort and real connection people make to the communities in peer-to-peer. So it was an inspiring time to also be in part of this project in working with a lot of people who gave feedback, etc., and heard the stories of how they fundraise. So as I was mentioning before, so peer-to-peer solution, our objective is to be a fully integrated solution for nonprofits, be it that it's advocacy, be it etc. And peer-to-peer is no exception. We wanted it to be fully integrated. So it's unified data. We want it to be flexible. So we know that clients need simple pages to start with, but fundamentally their business rules and processes and also where their creative desires want to go, there's usually some flexibility needed in order to be able to push the peer-to-peer platform to run a particular campaign that might be targeting schools or a unique idea that you have that you want to promote on a rope pull for planes. There are intrinsic things that your organization need in order to promote and power peer-to-peer platforms, and we really wanted to meet them at that place with powerful payment options and supporting cards, digital wallets, and PayPal. So this was something our legacy peer-to-peer tool didn't quite cover. So with our new peer-to-peer tool, we wanted to make what was our intrinsically powerful things about engaging networks, promote them. And powerful payment options is certainly like that. So integrations into, like, say, double the donation with gift matching, etc. Everything's rolled into the hood of peer-to-peer to be able to do what you can do in peer-to-peer, in Page Builder, as well as deeply integrated messaging. So Engaging Networks has a very strong automated and also segmenting messaging tools. So with peer-to-peer, we've made sure that under the segments layer, there's powerful ways of you being able to target exactly the sites, the participants, the participant types, the goals that they've reached, as well as an automated layer to help you reduce the manual activity of messaging, and really meet supporters where they are through conditional controls. We've also added gamification to premium donation, premium gifts and incentives, as well as within the messaging tool to be able to meet those people when they meet those milestones. And the current tool's pillars are tributes, events, and DIY. So, I'm going to go through each of these in a little more detail and then dive into a demo. I'll preface that peer-to-peer, there's a lot. You can push it in different places, and I'm going to tackle tributes first, and then I'll go to events and DIY, and I'll do a big call out before I go in. So if anyone is interested in a particular area, they can listen down to it. But the tool itself is quite flexible in that it's one platform with settings where you can kind of push it in different directions. So we're not necessarily saying that you only have to do a tribute or it's only events. What I have seen is clients needing to have like a DIY, but it's an event-based focused with a certain lens, and they want to use manual activity tracking. So there are a lot of functionality that can be enabled in order to get what you need. And I wanted to preface that if I don't cover everything in today, because we only have an hour, please reach out and we can do a demo where we can really dive into the needs of your organization and cover the particular areas that I'm going to gloss over because there's a lot to cover today. So on the tribute side, this is obviously allowing fundraisers to easily create in memoriam pages for their loved ones or pets. So this is me as a fundraiser registering for someone special, which means that the special person's name would be in the front, and it'd be easily searched for, etc. On the event side, we have a whole host of options of being able to support like bikes and rides and swims in terms of registration options, processing commitments, etc., participant type options. And then on the DIY side, you can really push it to where you want to honor, like offer people to do personal things like birthdays, milestones, creative campaigns, etc. And again, this is all built on top of the one tool set that Engaging offers around email and SMS, supporter segmentation, reporting, page builder, fundraising, events, advocacy, etc. So just focusing on tributes. So what we've really, during the course of building peer-to-peer, we spoke to a number of clients where tributes was one of their flagship page types that they wanted to promote in peer-to-peer. And being able to easily create a page where that person's name is the main thing was important. And so we pivoted to be able to add an in honor block. And effectively what that means is it really allows you as an organization to offer a registration process that's easily allow someone to be honored. And also what that means is that gifts are automatically recorded as FIM or in memoriam transactions. So if I donate to Mary Cooper, my donation will automatically be attributed to Mary Cooper, and fits into the the gift designation model that Engaging Networks offers. It also allows friends and families to search for those who are being honored easily. So either by searching for the person who's being honored or the person who's being registered. So say people thought that I'm creating a page, they might search for my name or the person I'm being honored, and then you'd be able to find both. And we certainly heard that these were sort of some sticking points on other tools. So we really wanted to sort of highlight and make this an easy process for those either registering, searching, and then donating. And then also for the data team, the gift attribution to be able to really see where those funds are coming from. On the event side, you can easily tailor your site to use different registration options based on participant types. So whether you need goals, minimum commitments, discounts, you're leveraging teams, you can maximize your engagement with also custom content during the registration flow based on participation type. One of the flagship pieces of what we're really proud of is the messaging within the peer-to-peer site. So being able to offer conditional content based on the fundraiser's activities like percentage raise, participant types, and automated journeys with a countdown coaching. So in this example, I've got a relative registration of 5 days after, but you could do that 5 days before the event is closing off, and create a series to help you automate messages depending on where people are, whether they've signed a waiver, whether they haven't, whether they've reached their minimum, whether they've made an additional donation or not, etc. So tools of how to reduce the need to be able to do manual and bulk sending to help keep people up to date. On the event side, we also support a company hierarchy through our organizations framework. And this effectively allows you to offer more hierarchical structures over teams and individuals. So when you create a peer-to-peer site, we support teams and we support individuals. If you need levels above that, which might be like departments, it might be companies, etc., or schools, universities, you're able to do that through the organizations framework to sort of create the layers that you would of a high company, the company departments, and then the individuals and fundraisers who are underneath that. We are also able to offer unmet minimum commitment processing easily within the dashboard. So when we drop into the demo, you'll see that we've really tried to lay out everything quite simply. So you can easily see fundraisers, you can easily see teams, you can easily see donations, registrations. And then if you are dealing with minimum commitments, it's very easy to see the list of minimum commitments, how much they've raised, what they've left, and then charge those based on either full or partial, etc. And we've really tried to provide a screen that your team, if calling someone, can easily know exactly what's going on and how they can help that fundraiser meet their minimum commitment that they've committed to during the event. And then on the do-it-yourself or DIY side, perhaps the Evergreen is also another name that is covered for peer-to-peer. Is with our participant types, they're really flexible in that you can offer different types of goals, language, imagery, different banners to really match the experience that you want, or to promote fundraisers to sort of give ideas to where they would like to go, and also make it feel on brand. So Engaging Networks really understands that nonprofits want their materials to be on brand. So this is from page builder to marketing tools and to our peer-to-peer, is that we have a lot of sample templates that really get you started quickly, but if you can also then push it to where your branding desires go. We also took to heart to really make the fundraisers dashboard accessible and easy to use. So it's very straightforward in that when you log in, you have a list of navigation items on the left, and then you can then update the things on the right in a clear, readable, and also accessible, friendly way. Within the fundraising dashboards, there's the ability to update my pages and then see your donors, thank donors. And we have like a Giphy integration, also like default starter text for thanking, etc. So the way it's really trying to promote an easy understanding of what the fundraising journey is about, and then providing the tools for those fundraisers to effectively thank and communicate with their donors. So before I jump into the demo, I just wanted to say the key takeaways is that there's a comprehensive solution in engaging networks in peer-to-peer itself, but then as a solution as well. So within our peer-to-peer, we've got a deeply integrated messaging capabilities, and I think that really shines through in engaging networks offering, being able to really segment and target supporters, and then to bring back where development strategy comes in. We've got our report builder and our visual reporting imminently being released, which has been another undertaking that's to help better understand your data. But with the report builder, what will follow that is being able to do like cross-site reporting and peer-to-peer. So there are a number of development pieces that are bringing the integration of peer-to-peer to report builder into marketing tools together into a really unified solution to help you digitally engage and really target and message your supporters effectively. We have an out-of-the-box template, so you're able to get started really quickly. This covers a peer-to-peer as well as that template can be used in donation pages. So again, you could use the default templates, or then if you wanted to brand, you have these complete flexibility of options. And then as of right now, we've got tributes, events, and DIY functionally as we're kind of our real core pillars of functionality line. And then with that, I will jump into a demo. So here I am in Engaging Networks. You may have noticed that we now have peer-to-peer as the primary header and peer-to-peer legacy as the tool that I was mentioning before. Under peer-to-peer, we have sites and then a few of the various components that sort of make the peer-to-peer landscape, as it were. What I'll do is I'll just head over to sites, and I'm going to focus on first create a site. Let's go from there before I hop, skip, and dip to Tribute and a Marathon example. So here I'll just do example site P2P webinar. And again, you'll see we're really trying to go for like a really straightforward build, being able to specify where your peer-to-peer site and direction of it would like to go. So here you can see on the team side, you can either specify that there's a site can only handle individuals, and then also there's teams and individuals. And then we're also doing work to be able to handle group and family registrations, which is another really exciting build out. Here, how will people participate? So either in a DIY or event context. However, you'll see that we offer some sample participant types. Effectively, all these do is sort of preload for you to get started, but you could either skip or just create one and then customize some participation types thereafter. And then if you were doing tribute leaning, you'd be able to just select one and then amend that particular one. And there's some support documentation on how to do that. So what I'll do is I'll just potentially focus on an event. I'll do walk or run and celebrate. I'll click on site design. And here the default template will be created, as well as the peer-to-peer site. So this is the managerial layout of the site. And we've really tried to make it very simple. You go where you need to and then kind of really lay out everything that you need. So on setup and creation, what's happened is we've created a number of peer-to-peer, a number of intrinsically needed pages that we foresee. So there's a home page about, and that sort of makes up the site itself. So you have a kind of a CMS layout that you can then construct. This is supported by menus. So if you wanted to do advanced menu structures, you can. And then you have the ability to do like logged in or logged out pages. So you can have, whether they are in the dashboard or not, show them particular pages, etc. Under site settings, here is the sort of the top level where you can do name, the site URL, a friendly slug, which you can then share that if you on literature, locales, etc. We can go update, and then things like if you wanted to include registration fee and totals or not. Under look and feel, here I'm looking at the site template, as well as you can see that there's a message template. So the site template is the wrapper that fits around the peer-to-peer site. And if I just edit this, you'll see that this is kind of like the look and feel of what you see in the site. So easily being able to just tweak it, look and feel. There's colors, there's styles, there's matching. You can kind of just get under the hood to be able to update the template how you wish to be able to match like the look and feel of your logo and also your header and footer, etc., and basic styling. This template can also wrap around your donation pages and checkout pages. So the setup of a peer-to-peer site is that the site itself has intrinsic pages like registration, fundraisers dashboard, the harem, or whatever you add. But then in order to process payments, be it the donation or be it the checkout experience, we're leveraging our page builder as a way of being able to process those payments, which then in turn gives you access to all the gateway capabilities that you have in Page Builder. Coming back to the styling piece, so you'll see under message template, we also leverage marketing tools within the automations. So here I'm able to just select a marketing tools template. We have added ability to sort of manage templates. You can port them over from existing marketing tools to leverage in marketing in peer-to-peer, and some really granular options of being able to select different templates at different levels. So like the thank you message that gets sent to donors, you could use a different template if you wish to kind of have a very particular language. And then just following through the settings that you saw during the site registration setup. If I come back to this page, now the building blocks are participant types and the pages. So if I head over to participant types, you'll see that these are the ones that have been created because I preloaded them. I could create a new participant type, or I can just head over here to either duplicate. But here in editing, I'm able to then edit the particulars for this participant type. The basic name, etc., thumbnail, maximum quantity, entry price, etc. And if I just pop back here and go to site pages, I'm just going to click on preview for registration page. You'll see that this is how they land out. I'm also going to then just go edit the registration. And you'll see that this is the setup that occurs to be able to guide the supporters through. So the participant types are the ones that you offer for users to be able to select the direction, like walk or run. And then here is the ability to be able to capture the information. And the flow is that it will go participant types, personal details, you have teams, goals, etc., success, and then registration complete. And then registration complete would mean an email to myself, and then I'd be able to click to then log in to my dashboard. So what I'll do is I'm just going to head over to a preloaded demo, which is our tribute demo. So for this one, I'll have a look at participation types. You'll see I've created a participant type called in memory. It's got some information, the thumbnail. When I click on the default participant type, I've got the default story for this. I've got etc. We've disabled the ability to manage teams because for this particular site, we only want individual fundraisers to register. And I've offered some banners as well as the default goal is suggested amount, which is pretty high. So I'll update that to maybe 200. Save. If I go back to the dashboard, I'll head over to site pages, and then let's take a look at the registration. So here you'll see that there's one participation type in honor or in memory. If I head over to personal details, I've constructed the page to be in line with what I'm asking. So I've added a row block, and the editor's very visual. So here, if I wanted to add a new block, I could, be it a heading, text block, image. And there are a number of intrinsic blocks that you can use in peer-to-peer, be it a progress goal, HTML. There's these things like organizational handling and waving, depending on where you need to push your peer-to-peer site. Uh, Given that this is a tribute site, one thing I added is a couple of blocks that make it lean that way, but then a block type which is called the in memoriam block. So for example, here I've just added this in honor block. And then this honor block has a couple of options to be able to lean your site in a different direction. And this option has a use honorary name as page name, which means when then people register, that's the name that's going to be displayed on their page. And we have a number of things where you could have appeal codes registered to the fundraiser themselves. So the fundraiser chooses the gift designation, and then whoever donates, that would also get applied. And we have things that will can match GDPR and being able to offer people who want to choose whether their name is promoted on leaderboards and results and notification emails on the registration step. But if you're not in that climate, you'd be able to remove them, so which then they'd be automatically on, etc. Heading over to the goal, I'm able to then update the goal language, and you'll see that this is kind of how the framework works, a little similar to Page Builder, in that when you click on either custom blocks or particular blocks, on the right, you'll see that there are things that you can edit, like donation amounts and labels, language, components, etc., to help tailor the experience for those users. Then there are some key pages, like after registration is finished, you the login step, you have the search step, and everything's constructed using these kinds of blocks. So here we've got a text blocks, but then we've got an intrinsic search block that I've added to this page. So you could choose to use a search block in a custom page or another area if you wished, as well as the leaderboard. So the leaderboard block has some options, so you could tailor individuals or teams or both. There's different options that you can handle the look and feel. And then on the home page, you can do some things like that. And I'll show you this on the marathon demo as well. So then if I edit the fundraisers dashboard, this is the fundraisers dashboard that would be seen on login. And you can see it's a similar approach where there's what you see is what you get, and what editing, you have the things on the right that you can update. And here are all the different fields and options that the fundraiser would see on login. And then importantly, the donation page and checkout page, so that you'll see that I've attached a donation page, and then I've attached a checkout page to the process. And effectively, that means is that one of your donation pages that you have right now, you'd be able to duplicate, and that would convert it into a donation page that could be used for peer-to-peer, as well as a checkout page. And then that means that those two pages are intrinsically linked to peer-to-peer, and then you can then construct the language, etc. And when I get to some client demos, you'll see that they're like, you could either go with the site and then the donation page itself, looking at the same branding with the one template, or you could use your own template in Page Builder and then a different template in peer-to-peer, depending on your choices and where you are, etc. So if I just, I'll just hit the home page. I'll hit create the tribute page in honor. That's how you pronounce my surname. And then here in Honorum, I'm going to provide Marge Jones as the name, and then the gift direction, alumni support or research as an example. And then I'll just click on next. Here I could choose to make a personal donation or not. If I do choose to make an additional donation and click on next step, you'll see that this takes me to a donation page on peer-to-peer on Page Builder. Let me just fill that in. Not date. Should be page created. And you'll see on the registration page on success, this is an example of all the language that's been updated to sort of lean the tribute page to its particular point. So what's happened is that an email has been sent to myself, and then just popping over to messaging automation, you'll see that there's the tribute example login email. And if I click on that, here I can then edit the text for that particular registration, as well as other ones that I'll hop into in a moment. If I head over to the fundraisers tab, here is where we're starting to show the who is registered and easily see by exporting in each tile the thing that you're looking at. So fundraisers, there's an export CSV. You can see specifically the fundraisers. There's a team tile, donation tile, registration tile, etc. Here you'll see that I've just registered. I'm currently pending, meaning that I have been sent the email, but I haven't yet confirmed it. And you can see the statuses of those who have been active, and then also those who are pending. So if I received the email and then clicked on to say to log in, it would be the same process as I'm about to show you, which is as an admin, being able to log in as a participant. You'll see on the tile that I'm looking at fundraisers, you have all the ability to see who it is really easily, the ability to manage teams, as well as then their donations. What I'll do is I'll just log in as their participant type. If I head over to a donor, you can see that I've made a self donation. This is my donation page. I can then go find an image. I can update my fundraiser for Marge, etc. Update profile. It's uploaded, and then it's a nice looking accessible peer-to-peer site that is wrapped in a great template. And then I have all access to all the things that I need in order to be able to promote and to my fundraising friends and colleagues. So here's Marge's page. I can then see who that I've made some donations. If I click on donate now, then this is the page builder page that is then promoting Marge's donation. And you can see that you can add fields like anonymous donor, personal messages, etc. And what we're doing is we're also pre-loading fields in the URL that will then transact that I'm making a donation in memory of Marge Jones, etc., as well as the appeal code that was set during registration. So the transactional information will all align with what's going on and what's being registered. And if I just go have a look at the page itself and then have a look at donations, you can see the donation management screen is very simple in that you can see exactly who's donated. You can export that. You have the ability to do offline gifts, credit to either the site, team, or individual level. We have the ability to do bulk offline gifts. So if you have a large file and to be able to upload, we've done that as well. You can then view the gift, and you can see it's transacted to, credited to, and then you can also move donations if there was ever a false or incorrect donation. And then on the report side, we have the ability to do add additional fields to the fundraisers, teams, and donations, etc. tile. So what I'll take a look now is an Ian Marathon demo, which is a lot more involved per se. And you can see that by coming here, you'll see some new tiles that have been added. specifically things like organizations, registration payments, and minimum commitments. And the reason these are being showed is because I've added some blocks to the registration page. I've also, in the participant type, said that one of the participant types needs a minimum commitment met, etc. So if I head over to participant types, you can see that this is where the marathon, a Thon-esque participant type section might be set, in that you have a ticketed event, those who are bringing a ticket, those who are registering without a ticket and need that. You can see that you can have quantities and then also those that are remaining, as well as offer a participant type that those who are fundraising only. If I have a look at the one that sort of requires a ticket, I need a ticket, you'll see that there's a basic name, thumbnail, etc., providing the maximum quantities, heading into the default participant content, the default story, default banners, etc. And here you'll see that I've marked there is the minimum amount and I've set that, which then has registered that I need to show that minimum commitment tile on the management screen that you can offer. Here's an example of the team profile story and then the team amount to raise, etc. that can all be set. And then the waiver block, waiver options that you can then set for people who are taking part in marathons, etc. And then the additional participant types are visibility or not. So perhaps you have a participant type that you want to hide but allow people to register. You're also able to do that. And then we have enable activity tracking, perhaps on the Thon side, being able to help people train, for example, or in a DIY context, promote that you're wanting to do a steps challenge, etc., in a particular movement section of measurement. So I click to participant types, back to dashboard. Here, if I head over to site pages and let's take a look at the registration step. So you'll see that this looks a little different now. I've added a discount block. The participant type block looks a little up, has more things in it, more description, custom imagery. If I head over to personal details, I have more fields. I have race questions that I've added. I've added the ability to select a company, which gives me an organization tiering. I've added the appeal code designation to select. And then in this regard, I've added the ability to say, oh, if you want to run, but you wanted to do it in honor of someone, then this option has been selected. And that means that I can then also run in honor of someone, but my primary name will be shown on the registration pages, etc. So it's the inverse of the tribute, etc. And then on the team side, we've got the team block, which you can then change and sculpt. So for example, if you have images that might relate to your cause, if you like an environmental, you could change these logos to be more matched with the kind of the theme, what's going on. And you can customize all the language on this as well on the label side. And then on the goal block, here you're able to then customize, etc., checkout, and then success. One real differentiator that we have is under personal details. You can customize language to show content based on participant type. So here you'll see that all content is being shown, but if I select Boston Marathon, I can tailor the language, imagery, text, and form fields within this dashboard based on the participant type. So say I only wanted to ask the marathon ticket. If this is the first marathon, you'll see here that I'm asking to only show it in Boston Marathon or the Boston Marathon with ticket, but I'm not choosing to show it for the fundraising only. And you see that gets hidden. So there's some very powerful filtering tools in the dashboard in order to sculpt the registration flow for the particular participation type. And we've made improvements around the fields of things like events, of storing event-based fields, etc., within the form builder. And then within the fundraisers dashboard, similarly, because Teams has been added, you now have access to be able to add like team pages. You can add additional blocks if you wanted to change some of the language, etc., to be able to sculpt where your site should be or what you want to promote for that particular site. And then we've also got the incentive rewards. So for this particular site, based on participant types, based on how they raised, they can receive rewards, etc. So what I'll do is I'll just click on a fundraiser. Let me go look at Dan Runner. You'll see that they're running under the Boston, so they're looking to receive a ticket. They haven't quite matched their goal yet. Let's take a look at their page. You'll see that Dan Running is ready to go. He's had some donations. Let's have a look in his fundraisers dashboard. Profile image, updated language. Heading over to donors, you'll see that there's been someone who's been thanked. So let's thank some donor 4. Here I am able to add some Giphy information. You can turn Giphy on and off based on your organization requirements, but there's some real fun to be had by enabling it. There's some defaults that you can enable and then send that through. So that donor has been thanked. I'm hitting social media. I have the social media channels and easily get my dashboard. And then on rewards, I have the ability to then see what my premium gifts are on offer. So here I've been able to access the Crater Lake. I accept it, and then I'm able to get that. And you can either offer that it will be shipped or it can be picked up on race day, etc. So you'll see that reward claimed. Oh, but I have things I can unlock as well, sort of gamify them, knowing that they have some things to win by raising further. We have some live sites. So Global Refuge, using our custom template, updated it to be able to really target their supporters on refugee status. So they have a fundraiser running right now to stand against refugees, and you'll see that they have fundraisers who are registering. And then we have a really nice Michigan Humane who's launching their Mutt Walk launch. It's their Mutt March on a particular date, and you can see that they have milestones and rewards, and then they have fundraisers and teams who are registering to be able to take part in that. And you can see that the template is very similar to the one that we offer, with branding to be able to kind of get started really quickly, but it looks really great. And then we have some other ones that have pushed the template and customization a little further, etc. And then ALS Canada have really done a great job of their tribute and fundraising events. So on the tribute side, a really lovely place of being able for people to raise tributes for their cause, as well as the sort of fundraising event style. So Austin, this would be great time to take some questions.
Great. Yeah. And I will just go ahead and get out there in front of it and say we probably will not be able to cover all of the questions that were answered, or sorry, that were asked, but we will cover them post this session and really get back to you on these. We've been able to track all of them along the way here. So that being said, I'll get into one just right off the bat here, Dan. When will peer-to-peer legacy be archived? How long do folks have to kind of learn the new tool?
So we really understand that peer-to-peer campaigns aren't just daily. So they take a while for you to be able to launch them. They take a while for you able to create them. They have a date that when you take part in, and then you have some downtime. So we really acknowledge that. So we're really thinking that it would definitely not be next year, end of next year on the beginning, is where we're looking to pretty much say no new sites are going to be created. And then after that, we'll let sites sort of run out. So you said definitely have next year to be able to really get your teeth into peer-to-peer, because we acknowledge that it's no easy task to change solutions, and we want to be supportive of our clients who are using peer-to-peer too right now. But we really want to be able to promote the new system. It has some really great features. So we will really work with clients to be able to help them succeed in the new tool.
Perfect. Thank you for that, Dan. This has been asked in a few different ways, but I'll kind of combine them here. As basically the question is just that will peer-to-peer pages support bilingual content in the future, or it does it currently?
Yes, so this is a known item that we've built support for. So the actual peer-to-peer site in the back end, and we've made plans for peer-to-peer localization in support one site multi-language, and we'll likely address it in this year's roadmap.
Perfect. When will group and family registration be available?
So right now we have a lot of it enabled, and I'm actually very interested to speak to the people who are asking this question. If I haven't spoken to already, I can kind of show you a demo of where we are. You're able to enable it on the site. You're able to use it in registration. You're able to do family and group registrations. You're able to do waivers within the fundraisers dashboard itself. There's just one item that we need to add, which is the ability to manage the family person in the fundraisers dashboard. So we're very close for that to being like a tight solution, but it's testable. You can see it working, etc. So I'd love to be able to speak to those clients who are looking to use family registrations.
Perfect. So on that note, and any other that's more specific to your needs, if you're watching this now, please don't hesitate to reach out to your account success manager or support if it's something that you're having an issue with within the tool. Or sorry, lost my place there. Are folks able to approve a DIY page before it goes public?
Not currently.
Got it. And another one here on, will it be possible for a registrant to register themselves and a number of others at the time of the initial registration with just one email address?
Yes, so with our group registration functionality, I could register others to be able to take part. However, they would still need their own email address to be able to complete their registration. So the way that we've designed group registrations is that you can either be myself and I'm inviting others to register, which means that they would receive an email saying, hey, please complete your registration, and then they could complete that. However, if you don't have an email for someone else, then that would be family registrations, which would then be I'm registering a dependent. And then that means that with that email address hidden, I'd be managing their page.
Understood. Okay. When adding offline donations in peer-to-peer 3 in the new tool, does it automatically generate a tax receipt for the donor?
No.
Okay.
So cash and check are not automatically receipted. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. One that was kind of related to the first question I asked, so sorry to jump around here, but when legacy is kind of phased out on that timeline, whenever that is, will it be addressed the idea of merging existing fundraising campaigns from the old system?
So it's a good question, and we'll have to see how that will work. We obviously want it. It also depends, I guess, on migration perspective. So if you have active sites, active pages, Evergreen might be more important here. But it might be that we want to just acknowledge the fact that someone has taken part in the peer-to-peer site on the legacy page. So these are things that we'll look into once we start getting more clients coming over and how they operate, be it like an event or a evergreen style scenario.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, something we can definitely address as time goes on there. One question here that is specific here to creating fundraisers for different programs. It says, can you allow users to create fundraisers for different programs beyond just unrestricted giving? It seems that would be possible just by selecting the appropriate donation page for a peer-to-peer page. But can you confirm how we might do that? And sorry, that was a convoluted. Let me know if you need me to repeat any part of that. The way I said it was convoluted, not the question.
I might need to understand a little more on the restricted or unrestricted scenario. You could so if appeal code is on the registration page, you could allow a fundraiser to declare sort of the appeal code that all donors can come into. However, there's flexibility in that you could not include the appeal code, and then actually on the donation page, because it's page builder, you have a lot of options of being able to like auto-populate appeal codes or handle things like that. So I kind of feel that there might be a solution in that if I'm thinking of where the question is going, but I'm happy to sort of tackle that a bit more with you.
Perfect. On tribute pages, will the name and other details be pulled into the social share metadata when that's making that transfer over to the social share? Is that
Um,
ported over?
yeah, so we'll use the page content itself. So when I registered Marge, if someone shares Marge's page, it will be Marge's tribute social sharing.
Great. And then a question about integrations. Um, this person was referring to activity tracking, loving that feature there. But can we integrate with any third parties at the moment, like Strava or any of the other kind of platforms that are out there?
Not currently. We do have plans to also add something like that on top of our manual activity tracking.
Perfect. Okay. Um, we have a lot of other questions here, and I'm gonna go ahead and say that some of these are very specific to maybe specific needs that you might have with your organization, with your campaigns that you're running. And so in that case, I would say, please reach out to us directly, or know that we're also going to be tracking these too, and we'll reach out to you as well to get more information if we need that. But I'll just do a few other quick ones here. Are rewards sent tracked in exportable reports? Is there a way to kind of export reports on that?
Correct. Yeah. So there's an incentives report within the site that will give you those who have actively declined or actively said yes to an incentive and the quantities involved in those premiums.
Okay. Great. And I'll finish with one last question here. And you've been really great, Dan, that I've just been able to throw so many different kinds at you and no similar, groupings or anything like that. But we'll just say this one here is the check-in feature available with the new peer-to-peer to allow quick check-in at events?
Um, Well, no, I guess is a straightforward option on that. We just, with the way that it works is that you would be able to register for the site, which would give you a page which you could then fundraise for that page. And then that page gives you all the details of who the fundraisers are. And then participant type would then give you the ability to know at the race day who's doing what.
Okay, perfect. So there's kind of a way to address that in a sense from the way you're saying that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. We are at time now. We definitely still have some questions, but I think everybody's just really excited and really wants to get their questions out there, and that's totally understandable because this is a new feature for a lot of folks here. So know that we will address them. We will track all of them, and we will get back to you and ask more questions if we need some more context, or if it's a direct answer that we just have for you, we will 100% send that your way as well. But I just really want to thank you, Dan, for being here, for being so thorough in your presentation and being able to take so many of our questions. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you do have any other questions along the way. We'd be happy to help. And thank you so much for being here today. And thank you, Dan.
Yes, and just to echo, thank you very much for everyone's time who I've spoken to, beta clients, and to those who we'll be working with. We're really hoping the peer-to-peer tool will really help bolster all the narratives that people want to promote in their organizations. And we think that there's a lot of great features that will help you raise more money.